Lads, it's Tottenham. That's a saying that has reverberated around Old Trafford for many years. The Spurs head to Old Trafford with a spring in their step and definitely with an eye on winning again. Ange Postecoglu, as we know, has had a very good first half of the season. Erik Ten Hag less so. But the comparison between the two managers is definitely something that I want to delve into because we need to find out what Erik Ten Hag can learn from the man from down under. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sani-That sports guy talking all things sport. And of course, today we're speaking football and of course Man United because we've got a huge game. We've got Man United versus Spurs. So much is on the line for both teams. Of course, we need a Man United win. Will it happen? We'll see. But of course, as we know, Spurs have been resurgent this season. We all know what happened last season with Antonio Conte. But what can Erik Ten Hag learn from the man who inflicted a very resounding defeat earlier in the season? Spurs go into the game leading us by 8 points, but it feels like Ange has got something brewing in North London. The fact that he's changed the club and the identity in a shorter space of time is something that I think Erik Ten Hag really needs to learn something from. Despite him overachieving last season, getting us fourth and winning the Carabao Cup, if we look at this season, he's gone week in, week out, sometimes looking for a must-win in order to potentially keep the pressure from him getting the sack. But I want to take a step back to last season. As we know, Erik Ten Hag didn't have a good start. We lost at home to Brighton. We then went to Brentford and lost as well. But the thing is, that game against Liverpool, which was the next home match afterwards, was a must-win for Erik Ten Hag. But what did he do? Of course he won. Football's a results business at the end of the day, and he needed a win. But what was more telling was the fact that he actually stepped away from his philosophy. Although possession's not everything, as the Barcelona side of 2012 know against Celtic and Tony Watt, we only managed to keep 30% possession against Liverpool in that 2-1 win. Despite the deficiencies of De Gea playing with the ball at his feet, we were kicking the ball longer, not having control of the game. And although, yes, we did win, it wasn't a really convincing win. If we compare this to Spurs and Ange, who, although he's in his first season, he refuses to go against his principles. Now, you might point to games such as the Chelsea game at home, where Spurs were reduced to 9 men, and Spurs refused to sit back deep. If anything, they pressed forward, trying to catch a Chelsea attackers offside. But the thing is, they stuck to their guns. Now, you might be a person that doesn't have values, but if you do have values, then you want to stick to them because it's the principle that matters. But even if you look in the games after that, Spurs refused to go against their principle. Although they were injury ravaged, they still stuck to their ideas. Nothing would deter him from the vision that he wants to implement at Spurs, and that's something you have to respect. And yeah, you might think that it's Spurs and Man United's a much bigger club, but the thing is, Erik Ten Hag's in a beautiful situation. He can't get sacked in the middle of the season. There's been a slight ownership change with Ineos, but of course, they will be taking over the footballing side. Would they really sack a manager mid-season and then hope to pry someone away from a club with a big payout? I don't think so. I also look at potential replacements that could usurp Erik Ten Hag at Manchester United, and I don't think there are that many suitable candidates. Yeah, fine, he's not getting the results and he's not getting the philosophy that he wants, but the thing is, I don't think they're going to sack him, and that's one thing that means that Erik Ten Hag can go back to his plan. And in the words of Face from the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. And that's exactly what he needs to do. Spurs supporters all across the country have found an identity that they can bond with and can resonate with. Whereas us United fans, I'm still not sure what we want to play. We went from a manager last season that was speaking about high possession to a manager this season talking about being the best transition team in the world, which we're not even that. But it is very telling because you would have thought that Erik Ten Hag, 18 months into his tenure at Manchester United, would have had at least a style of play that the fans can resonate and identify with. Now, this isn't me going back to the nostalgic elements of what is the Man United way. The Man United way is playing attacking football. Now, I'm not going to be nostalgic about how there's two wingers, there's two strikers. The Man United way is simply to get the fans off the edge of their seat and play attacking football, no matter what way you put it. This season, I don't think there's been many games where I can honestly say that Erik Ten Hag's style of play has lifted me off the seat. Now, as a comparison, Antonio Conte last season was the manager for Spurs, but it's very, very telling how the differences have somewhat changed in the space of 12 months. Yes, results were there. They finished in the top 4 the season before, which meant they were in the Champions League, but the style of play was not conducive to a longer-term project that Spurs wanted to implement. Whenever Spurs played against a decent opposition, they were always found wanting and exposed. And the fact that he finished outside the top 4 meant the writing was on the wall. Now, you could say the same's happening for Erik Ten Hag and Manchester United this season. For those of you that follow me on Instagram, you saw the reel that I put out in August. How if Erik Ten Hag wasn't careful, the writing could be on the wall come end of the season. But it is ironic because Man United and Spurs are intertwined. The manager that managed Spurs last season, Antonio Conte, was a manager that many fans at our club really wanted, and some still do. But the irony is, the season where Espirito Santos was confirmed as a Spurs manager, a certain Erik Ten Hag was on the shortlist at Spurs. Now, the universe does work in mysterious ways. But how different could the fortune of Erik Ten Hag's tenure in England have been had he gone to Spurs? Yes, expectations are different, but Spurs still want to be challenging for the big trophies. Regardless of the memes that you might get with Spurs about not winning a trophy for so long, they still have aspirations. And I think under Postecoglu, they may fulfill some of those aspirations. There's no guarantee that Postecoglu Postecoglu will win a trophy at Spurs or even be a success. It's only his first couple of months in the job. The thing is, if it isn't, it won't be for the same reasons why it hasn't really worked out for Erik ten Hag thus far at Manchester United. It's been an underwhelming season so far. Yes, expectations from last season weren't to finish top 4 and win a trophy, but we got there. Although I did at the start of the season think that we'd finish 4th at best, we're not even playing like a side that would even finish in the European spots at the moment. Yeah, you have to give Ten Hag somewhat benefit of the doubt with the fact that some of his players have been injured for long periods this season. Spurs have also had massive injury issues, and many of you obviously watching this video as well wouldn't have thought they would have done this well, especially after Harry Kane left to go to Bayern Munich. And of course, we look at today's game. Spurs have basically their midfield gone because of the Africa Cup of Nations, and of course their talisman Heung-min Son won't be here because of the Asia Cup. Whilst although we do miss Harry Maguire, we have Lisandro Martinez and Casemiro coming back. And although the jury for many fans is still out on Andre Onana, this game is going to tell us a lot about Spurs, Man United, Ange Postecoglu, and Erik ten Hag. Thank you very much for watching this video. It's going to be an interesting game. Please let me know your score predictions. Let me know who you think the better manager is as well, Ange or Erik ten Hag. And of course, if you're liking what you're hearing and watching, then please make sure to smash a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching. And until next time, peace.